Blue Sky shut down in 2021. Rest in peace, Blue Sky. You had some truly great villains. Or did you? You see, Blue Sky has 16 villains. And today hello, it's me, Jesse, will be ranking every single one of them from worst to best. Let's go. At number 16, we have Marcel from the movie Rio. It all started with this bird named Blue just living his life in Rio. But then he got captured and shipped and ended up with this woman, which became his new life, and he didn't really mind it all that much. But then one day out of nowhere, this guy bursts in and is like, there's bird huzz in Rio. Commonly referred to as Buzz.
Are you serious right now, bro?
So they go to Rio where Blue meets up with the only female bird left of his species.
Hello everybody, my name is Mark.
Her name is Jewel, and it's up to them to save said species. But while Blue's trying to serenade Jewel, they get abducted by a kid who then delivers them to the villain, McLovin from the hit movie Superbad.
I am McLovin.
Nah, it's Marcel. He gives the kid money for this, but it's only half of what he promised.
You are a scammer.
Now, should you exploit children for your personal benefit? Yes, but at least be honest about it. I mean, that's what I do, and it's working out great for me.
Mr. Jesse, can I go home to see my family?
What's the occasion?
Well, I haven't seen them in almost a year, and
Tell me, number 54, did you redesign the Obama pyramid like I asked?
No, not yet, Mr. Jesse.
Then how about you stop asking silly questions and get back to work? Kids, am I right? Blue and Jewel eventually escape, but after a lot of side quests, and I mean a lot of side quests, they eventually get recaptured. And then the same thing of being sold and shipped happens again. But this time, Blue manages to escape and free the others, which makes the plane crash. The villain and his goons didn't actually die, even though I don't think anyone would have actually cared if they did, because these guys are just so incompetent and annoying. And especially his goons. I feel like these guys either got a lobotomy or were dropped on their head as a kid. Probably both. And the main villain is just very boring, like he's just evil and that's it. I can just imagine the writers in the writing room being like, alright guys, we have to come up with a villain for this movie about, birds. Any ideas? Okay, so what if we made him evil?
Oh my goodness, that's great!
Alright, I like that, good idea, good idea. Anything else? Yeah, okay, so what if we, like, made him evil?
Man, this is the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
Dude, that is such a good idea. It almost makes me forget about the fact that my wife left me, and now she took the kids and the house. Alright, I feel like we need just one more thing to really bring this home. Alright, so what if we made him evil? At number 15, we have Big Boss from Rio 2. Yeah, I think the Rio movies are pretty decent, but the main villains absolutely suck. So in Rio 2, Blue and Jewel have kids now. But not only that, they find out that there's a whole civilization of blue macaws roaming the Amazon. They did the same thing of finding others of their species in the Ice Age. And I think the reason why they're doing this is because they don't want the kids to figure out that in the case of repopulation, that the family tree is gonna start looking like a family bush real quickly. Inbreeding aside, the villain of the movie hears about the fact that people want to protect the habitat of the blue macaws. And he doesn't like that one bit. Because he has this lumber business that is
illegal.
And he doesn't want people to find out about this and shut down the business. And then he turns to murder as a solution. And honestly, it is pretty effective, not gonna lie. So he tells his goons to kill them, but then when his goons actually find them, they just tie them to a tree. Like, if you're gonna relieve them from life, just do it. Like, you have an axe. There's no need for all of this. They also gave him this thing for lollipops. Like, he has one every single scene, but it just makes him look like a literal baby. Anyway, his lumber business gets attacked by a ton of birds, and I know there are a lot of them, but come on, they're medium-sized birds. And who in their right mind is scared of a bird? He tries to use dynamite to fight the birds, but then this snake appears out of nowhere and eats the guy whole. That's Brazil for ya, I guess. Brazil! This guy is just another very one-dimensional villain like the first one. Again, I feel like the people in the writer's room were like, alright guys, that movie about birds made us over $500 million. And it's all thanks to our beautiful villain writing. And now we get to do the sequel, and we really wanted $500 million again. So does anyone have any great ideas for this villain? Yeah, what if we made him like a dynamic character with like a bunch of layers, and it's a bit of a gray area on whether he's good or bad? You're fired. What? But I was just... You're fired. Crumbobulous Michael, you were the one with that great idea last time. Is there anything you can give us? Yeah, what if we... And hear me out on this. What if we made him evil. How does he do it? How does he keep coming up with this? How does he do it? Maybe he wouldn't be such a maniacal villain if he just got some therapy. As some of you may know, my current upload schedule is kind of horrendous because I always needed everything to be perfect.
God is good.
Which led me to always hyper obsess over the smallest things, even though it's completely unnecessary. But in therapy, I learned to let go of that and just let things be imperfect. Instead of making a video 100% perfect, I'll just make it like 90% perfect. It's a mindset that keeps me from being a perfectionist, and I'm actually getting a lot more stuff done now. Which means that I'll be uploading a lot more this year. And this is just an example of something that therapy can help you with. And BetterHelp, the sponsor of today's video, will make starting therapy a lot easier. And if you don't want to take it from me, take it from the 6 million people to date who've gotten help through BetterHelp. Earning a 4.8 out of 5-star rating on the App Store. That's even better than me. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/JesseJokes and get 10% off your first month of therapy. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. At number 14, we have the Red Baron from the Peanuts movie. The Red Baron was a German fighter pilot during World War I. With over 80 confirmed kills, but he also made an appearance in the Peanuts movie. I mean, he isn't technically in the movie because it's a model airplane, but that model airplane became a big part of Snoopy's imagination. Like, he wrote this entire fan fiction about needing to save a lady from the Red Baron. And even though, yeah, he's not real, I can still see him as a threatening villain. Also given by the fact that it completely destroyed Charlie Brown's book report, one that he wanted to use to impress a girl. Alright, killing 80 people in the Great War is one thing, but cock-blocking Charlie Brown is taking it too far. I don't stand for this. Also, the last time we saw the Red Baron in the movies when he threw a pie in Snoopy's face in France, and then Snoopy said that he was gonna take revenge. Well, as it turns out, the Red Baron got shot down in France. I don't want to insinuate anything, but I might be cooking. I might be cooking heavily. This one's gonna pull Mad Pat straight out of his retirement. Hello! At number 13, we have the Dino Birds from Ice Age 5. Ice Age 5 starts off with a bunch of meteors heading for Earth.
118, brace for impact!
And my absolute goat, Buck Wild, catches wind of this and wants to stop it, because he is not a big fan of dying.
He's stumped.
But then these Dino Birds, specifically the dad, gets the brilliant idea to just let the meteor hit, because they're birds and they can just fly over it. For the people who don't understand why that's a bad plan, let's say there's a school bus coming right at me, and everyone's like, oh no, Jesse, look out, it's gonna hit you, it's gonna hit you. Nah, don't worry. I got this. And even though the son Dino Bird can use a bit of a gym session, he's the only one that's actually logical and calls out his dad for being really stupid.
That seems highly implausible. Just from a scientific standpoint.
The dad doesn't really care though, and he orders his kid to help him stop Buck from stopping the meteor. And they tell Buck their plan as well, and he too is like,
that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Bill Nye whipped it out.
And Buck tells them the obvious thing, like, you'll die, stupid. You're stupid. And that's when the dad realizes, shit, you might be right. And they help stop the meteor. They would have been higher on the list if they actually stood on business, but no, they just gave up immediately. And also the fact that all of them, except for the son, are just so stupid. They just come off as so uncoordinated and unthreatening. Like, even Sid's granny is able to solo them. But to be fair, that woman just doesn't die. It's almost like she is invincible. No, but for real, she just doesn't die.
You've had hot breakfasts.
At number 12, we have Rudy from Ice Age 3. Rudy is the dinosaur that dared to attack my goat, Buckalicious.
He's the one that gave me this.
Whoa, he gave you that patch? For free? That's so cool.
Yeah, maybe he'll give us one too.
You know what, actually, I think these two are the real villains. I hate them so much. So much, in fact, that I made a 260-page PDF on all the reasons as to why I hate them. Such as them yelling things like, Wiener! 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 Here's the link, check it out if you want to. In the story that Buck told, Rudy was made out to be this very intimidating creature that was like the size of Godzilla. But then when Rudy actually appears at the end of the movie, he's not even that big. He's like slightly bigger than Manny. This is like the same height difference as me and Shaquille O'Neal. And he was only like a minor inconvenience. Like, they stopped him within a couple of minutes.
Okay,
And even though Rudy does tickle that stereotypical male part of my brain that fucking loves big dinosaurs and monster trucks and femboys and explosions, I do have to come to terms with the fact that he's just kinda disappointing. Look at me being disappointed. At number 11, we have El Primero from Ferdinand. Ferdinand is definitely one of the movies of all time.
Hey, what you doing out here with all this ass? Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon, hella ass.
The movie's named after the main character, Ferdinand. Oh my God! And Ferdinand has a dad who could pick the fight against El Primero, which they all thought was a good thing because they thought he could beat him. Idiots. So when Ferdinand's dad was supposed to return, he wasn't there. Probably because El Primero just dropped a 20 bomb in the arena. Ferdinand was kind of freaked out by this and ran off. And then he spent a couple years at a nice farm. But eventually they caught him and put him back, where he was reunited with all of his old bull bullies. And also these horses that made me stop wanting to be alive.
Hoof bump, Klaus, hoof bump,
But all of this was cut short by El Primero pulling up in a Ferrari. And he also shows off his moneymakers because why not? He takes a look at the bulls, but is just very disappointed. But after the second look, he's just like, alright, I'll pick that one. And that just so happened to be our main character, Ferdinand. What a coincidence! So they end up in the arena, but Ferdinand doesn't want to fight because he's a pacifist, and he doesn't do that. But then they kind of force him to do something, so he just starts rage baiting El Primero. But after a little bit, he scoops El Primero up and gives him this look of, you know I can rock your shit right now if I wanted to. And El Primero just goes, good point, have yourself a splendid day. On one hand, I get that you want to live, but on the other hand, he just did you so dirty and you're just gonna walk away. You're just gonna take it? You're just gonna let him do that? And I honestly don't think he's that much of a villain. Because, you know, it's his job to do this. And that brings us to the quote of the day. You can either die a hero or live long enough to get a job. Dude, right before I was gonna record this, a fucking earthquake just hit. So, first earthquake, kinda nervous. At number 10, we have Sour Kangaroo from Horton Hears a Who. This kangaroo is just a huge Karen, because Horton finds his clover with a tiny speck on it and he talks to it because he thinks there's people on it, like a crazy person. And for some reason, she's really bothered by this. I mean, just let him have his joy and whimsy, dude. But no, she goes up to Horton and says, that's not how we do things around here. Just like those demons from the Homeowners Association.
You got a permit from the HOA to do this?
And also, what is this haircut? It looks like one of those shitty TikTok haircuts. Anyway, she tells Horton to give her the clover, but then he says the unthinkable.
No. No?
Like any Karen, she asked for the manager, but then she realized they're in a fucking jungle. So then she does the next best thing. Hire a hitman.
No problem. Easy peasy.
The hitman completely fails though, and her next plan is to become a politician and assemble a mob.
9/11. 9/11.
The mob tracks down Horton, and the kangaroo is like, all you have to do is say that you were wrong, and that you're a bum, and that you have no friends, no cheese, no bitch. Horton doesn't really want to do all of that, so she takes the clover and tries to destroy it. But then at the last second, the emo on the clover saves the day. Let's go! After this, the mob switches up on her immediately, and they kill her brutally. Nah, just kidding, they have a dance party ending. I thought she was a pretty funny villain, but at the end of the day, she's still just a Karen, and that's kind of all she is. At number 9, we have Cretaceous and Maelstrom from Ice Age 2. They were these prehistoric dinosaur fish that were stuck in the ice. But then global warming happened and they unfroze. Which is silly because as we all know, global warming doesn't exist. Right, mole person?
Hey man, don't associate me with those statements.
I'll have what he's having.
Come on, it doesn't even make any sense.
So when they escaped out of the ice, the first thing they did was search for food. I mean, yeah, I can imagine you're pretty ravenous after being frozen for a couple million years. And they thought that our main boys were pretty food-shaped, so they went after them. And yeah, I get it, they're animals, they have to eat. But sometimes they have this look in their eyes like they're definitely doing it for the love of the game. I just can't prove it. I really liked how threatening they were in the movie, though. Because they were under the ice, it felt like they could pop up at any moment. I was just kind of disappointed that they were outsmarted by one of the cheapest tricks in the book. And I honestly think they would have been more fun to watch if they could actually speak and say like ominous and threatening things.
You don't have a job, you don't have a job, yes I don't have a job. So
hey, you know, maybe the real villains of this movie are these kids bullying Sid.
Let's bury him!
Let's bury him!
At number 8, we have Soto from Ice Age. Soto was the leader of Diego's Tiger Pack, and he yearned for the taste of babies.
Excuse me, are you gonna eat that?
No, but it's actually ridiculous how badly he wants that baby.
I want that baby, Diego.
I think we might need to send this guy to rehab. Hey, my name is Soto. Hey, Soto. Hello, Soto. And I can't stop eating babies. We've all been there, Soto. Maybe you could try a vegan alternative. So he told Diego to steal the baby of this handsome devil, but Diego fails miserably because apparently he's not very good at kidnapping babies. Unrelatable. Soto tells Diego that if he doesn't get the baby, he's gonna eat him instead. Okay. So he tracks down the baby and finds him with Sid and Manny. And he tells them, yeah, I know the way to the humans, and I'm definitely not gonna lead towards my Tiger Pack. Thank you, that's reassuring. And thus they went on their way. But when they got to the Tiger Pack, Diego had a change of heart.
This is a full in-depth tutorial on how you guys can switch up on your day one.
But Soto just stayed very calm and took care of Diego himself.
Go to sleep, go to sleep.
But as he was closing in to take care of Manny, he spotted something.
Go to sleep.
And that's when he died a very convenient and gruesome death. Honestly, I don't think he's much of a villain either. Because yeah, sure, he wanted to eat this baby, but come on, they're tigers. They kind of have to do that to survive. And okay, sure, he was also pretty mean to the other tigers in his Tiger Pack. But these guys are just idiots. I mean, look at them. At number 7, we have Ratchet from Robots. This robot guy named Rodney wanted to be an inventor. So he went to the big city to present this idea. But when he actually got there, he saw Ratchet and he did not give a singular fuck. Because he only cared about upgrades, people, upgrades. You know, the Apple mentality. Because that was just way more profitable. But I honestly don't even think this guy's that rich. He didn't wear Gucci once, and he never even did a money spread. Like, come on, people. So Ratchet's plan was to take all of the poor people and recycle them to make upgrades for the rich people. Which, if you think about it, is kind of crazy. Because that basically means they're wearing someone else's skin, and intestines, and feet. But Rodney, the guy from earlier, wanted to help the poor people instead. Disgusting! And because of this conflict of interest, they eventually have a war. And it was such a bloodbath. Oh, the horror. Oh, you couldn't even imagine. Ratchet loses, of course, and he ends up shackled next to his dad.
It's all right, son. You can shine no matter what you... Yes.
I think it's funny that this movie was made in 2005, and Ratchet was seen as this evil CEO for basically turning everything into a subscription service. But nowadays, that's literally every company.
Nice job, team.
At number 6, we have Madame Gasket from Robots. Madame Gasket was the mastermind behind Ratchet's plan. And even though I like Ratchet, I think Madame Gasket is just a tiny bit better. Because without her, Ratchet would be literally nothing. She was the one that gave Ratchet his ideas, and she told him what to do. He's basically just a giant Nepo baby. I also love the fact that she's a huge rage baiter.
Alright, break time. Alright, break time's over. Chop chop.
Ah, that's my kind of woman. She was also the one that chained her husband up there.
Hey, son. Good to see you.
I also really like her character design. It makes me think of a Skylanders villain for some reason.
Who said that? Are you
At number 5, we have Mandrake from Epic. Before researching for this video, I had never heard of this movie before in my life.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Not so fast, soldier boy.
And also, I don't really understand why it's called Epic. Did they really just want to make a pun?
This is epic.
So Mandrake's whole thing is destroying the forest with rot. He does this because him and his people like living in rot for some reason. Kinda like XQC or Osmond Gold. But anytime he tries to turn anything into rot, the leaf people just turn it back into forest. So it's pretty much just a constant war of territory. Also, the first time when Mandrake is on screen, he's with his son, but his son gets sniped immediately. Kind of a major skill issue if you ask me. And then Mr.
Beam bada boom, Mr. Worldwide
puts disrespect on his son.
Plus your idiot general gets himself mulched.
That idiot general.
Where's my son?
Now that's aura. A 6-7 moment perchance. A W-Riz occurrence. And for a second I thought, why does he sound so threatening in a familiar way? And then I realized this guy's Hans Landa.
Something very inspiring.
You're sheltering enemies of the state, are you not?
After a while though, the Leafmen got pretty sick of him and they humbled him into a tree.
Don't leave me here! My house! My God! Help me!
I like Mandrake, but I feel like he just misses that flair, you know? That special sauce. At number 4, we have Nigel from Rio 1 and Rio 2. Nigel is the cockatoo that helped Marcel in the first movie. His job was to catch birds that Marcel could then sell.
Let me out of here!
But they don't have some sort of a business contract with each other. No, Nigel genuinely just does it for the love of the game. Besides intimidating, he's also a huge diva. He got this from being a showbird when he was younger, but then he got kind of ugly and washed up. He was also the one that recaptured Blue and Jewel in the first movie. Because, you know, the other guys were lobotomized. Blue was able to outsmart him though, and then he suffered the same fate as Syndrome. Somehow he survived this and appeared again in the second movie.
I am officially back. Yes! Yes! Yes!
Where he went on this whole manhunt to get his revenge. And this honestly felt like just a whole bunch of filler.
You never seen a cockatoo? Rocking and shocking and dropping and popping and locking too?
The only thing that holds him back from being top 3 is his terrible laugh. Like, I know it's supposed to be annoying, but this actively makes me want to turn off this movie and go bungee jumping without a cord. At number 3, we have Captain Gut from Ice Age 4. Step aside, Poseidon, because there's a new ruler of the sea, and his name is Sneakers O'Toole.
I'm not taking my sneakers off. I am Sneakers O'Toole.
We first get introduced to him when he captures the Ice Age gang, and he sings an absolutely fire sea shanty.
You've been saved by the ape that rules these waters, so forget about your wives and daughters. First mate, introduce me to them, please.
Though the Ice Age gang escaped and they sunk the ship, they all get to an island where Gut enslaves a bunch of hamsters to build him a new ship, which is bad. Enslavement is bad.
But Mr. Jesse, you do that too.
No, this is different. You're just an unpaid intern who works 24/7 and isn't allowed to leave. Now get back to your Obama pyramid. The hamsters finish Gut's boat, but then the Ice Age gang steals it from him. This really pissed him off. And he made an entirely new ship with his bare hands.
Get your sorry carcasses on board now.
Damn, Captain Gut and I are crazy. Someone needs to stop us, dude. Someone needs to stop us. The rest of the movie is just one big chase scene. But eventually, it comes down to a 1v1. And even though I think Gut should have easily won, Manny just throws him and gets the victory royale. I think Captain Gut is a great villain. And the two things that stuck out to me the most were, of course, his singing, but also his character design. I thought it was very cleverly done. Like, he does kind of look like a pirate. Because if you take a look at this part of his hair, it kind of resembles Sneakers O'Toole.
I didn't take my sneakers off. I'm still Sneakers O'Toole.
Also, little fact about this movie, Drake voices the love interest of Peaches, who's 15. Rumor has it that Drake only wanted to accept this role if it meant that his character was allowed to hang around a bunch of minors. Which is disgusting. What do you have to say for yourself, Drake?
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Apology accepted. At number 2, we have the director from Nimona. The director wanted to be queen, so she rigged a knight's sword into firing a laser that killed the current queen. And afterwards, she started gaslighting him, saying things like, "I can't believe you did that. You probably liked it too, freak." But he escapes with the help of Nimona, who is such a good character, by the way. And together, they found out that the director was behind the whole thing.
The director set me up. She killed the queen.
And one of the knights confronted her about it. So she goes on a whole yap session and then kills him, because no witnesses. That's when Ballister steps in and reveals that she was caught in 4K, and that the knight was Nimona all along. Then they leave and they cancel her on Twitter. But she makes a public announcement and starts gaslighting again, being like, "Chat, that wasn't me, chat. It was AI, chat. It was a me." And the people believe her instantly. The reason why she wanted to be queen is because she thought that she could protect the kingdom better. But then when Nimona goes crazy, she turns the laser cannons into the city, which, yeah, it would kill Nimona, but it would also kill half of the entire city, which isn't very protective. Nimona chilled out though, and there was no more reason to fire the lasers. She did exactly what these guys didn't have the balls to do. She stood on business, even though it ended up killing her. But all things considered, good villain. At number 1, we have Killian from Spies in Disguise. One day, Will Smith was on a mission to retrieve a briefcase from a secret hideout, and he took down the bad guys pretty easily.
Look at your boy. Sleepy night-night.
But not all of them.
You don't remember me, do you? I'm gonna show you pain that you can't imagine.
That scan thing that he did made it so he could project Will Smith's face onto his own face. Therefore, everyone thought that Will Smith was the bad guy, which he kind of is. So he ran away and he turned into a pigeon, and I don't want to go into too much detail. But all you have to know is that Will Smith eventually finds Killian and gets trapped immediately like it's some Phineas and Ferb episode. And Killian explains that his plan is to kill every secret agent using his killer drones. But his plan fails after he gets stopped in a fight that felt like a total fever dream. Also, throughout the movie, he sometimes just appears out of seemingly nowhere. Because he's just sneaky like that, you know? And he also doesn't care what needs to happen to make his plan a reality, even if that means killing an innocent kid. In that sense, he's kind of like me. If I want to go to the store, there's not gonna be a single innocent child stopping me. So Blue Sky, looks like you truly had some great villains. Nah, they were just kind of okay, actually. Also, quick little heads up, the next video is gonna have my face in it, so prepare to get jump scared next month.
Har 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 bunting chim bunting chim bunting chim bunting ch bunting chim bunting ch bunting chim bunting ch da 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 da